Today in algebra we learn the second method for solving systems of equations, and that is substitution. Now we're going to start here with the steps, and there are several steps, and then we'll look at some examples. Number one is to solve for one variable in one equation. Step number two is to substitute the variable, the one you just solved for, into the other equation. Step three is to solve the remaining variable. Step four is to substitute the variable's value into the other equation. And step five is to write the answer as an ordered pair. Okay, now let's look at some examples. Number one, the system is y equals 2x and y equals x plus 5. Now, this concept is the same thing that we did yesterday. It's just a different way to solve. So I could still solve this using my y equals mx plus b, my y-intercept, and my slope. I could do that. Instead, I want to use substitution. To be able to substitute, I need to understand that two things that are equal are exactly the same. So, step one, solve for one variable in one equation. I want you to look at both equations and see if you see a variable that's by itself. In this case, there are two. We're going to start with just the first one. We see that y equals 2x. It equals, so they're exactly the same. They mean the same thing. So in my second equation, I'm going to substitute one variable into the other. So this y equals 2x. I'm going to take this 2x and sub it in for that y. So I have 2x equals x plus 5. The reason I did that is now I just have the same variable in one equation, and I can solve for my x. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. 2x minus 1x is x equals 5. And that's good because now we have one variable by itself. We've solved for the remaining variable. Now we substitute into the other. So we can use either one of these. They both say y equals, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to choose the first one and do y equals 2, and in place of x, I'm going to put 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Now I have my x and y value, which is 5 and 10. And that's it. That's my answer. Let's look at another one. The system is 2x plus y equals 5, and y equals x minus 4. Okay, again, do I have a variable by itself? Well, yes, I have y by itself right here. It's equal to x minus 4. So I'm going to take that and plug it into the other one where I see y. So I have 2x plus, and in place of y, I'm going to write x minus 4, because that's what y equals, and it equals 5. I can combine my like terms. 2x plus x is 3x, minus 4 equals 5. Add 4 to both sides. 3x equals 9. Divide both sides by 3, and x is equal to 3. Now I have to figure out what y is. I have an equation that says y equals, so I can plug it in now. Y equals x, which is 3, minus 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1, and my solution is 3, negative 1. Remember, I always write it as an xy ordered pair. We have two a little bit more complicated examples to look at. The next one, example number 3, is 2x plus y equals negative 4, and x plus y equals negative 7. Now, in this example in class, I tried to emphasize with you that there are several ways to solve this correctly, several choices that you could make, and it doesn't really matter which one you choose, you just need to pick one and go with it. In this one, there are no variables that are all by themselves. So, which equation looks easier? Well, to me, the second one does. X plus y equals negative 7. And it doesn't matter if I solve for x or y. X comes first, so I'm going to get x by itself. I'm going to subtract y from both sides. X equals negative 7 minus y. Now I have x by itself, so I can plug it into the first or the other equation. So I'm going to do 2, and in place of x, now it's being multiplied, so I have to put this in parentheses, I have negative 7 minus y. And then I continue. Plus y equals negative 4. This time I'm solving for y, so I have to distribute and combine my like terms. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, minus 2y plus y equals negative 4. Negative 2y and y make negative y. I'm going to get y by itself by adding 14. Negative y equals 10, and y equals negative 10. Remember, I can just flip that sign over. Now that I know what y equals, I'm going to go back to the equation that says x equals and figure out what that is by doing negative 7 minus, and my new y value is negative 10. So I have negative 7. A negative negative makes a positive, and that value is 3. So I have 3 and negative 10. And that's it. Okay, my last example here. The system is negative 2y plus x equals negative 4. X plus 8y equals 16. Okay, looks like x is going to be the easiest thing to solve for, and I'm just going to choose the second equation because there are less negatives there. To get x by itself, I'm going to subtract 8y from both sides. X equals 16 minus 8y. Now that I have a variable by itself, I'll get into the other equation. So the first one, I have negative 2y. That's important. I wrote the wrong variable. 2y plus, and in place of x, 16 minus 8y equals negative 4. Combine my like terms. Negative 2y and negative 8y makes negative 10y. Plus 16 equals negative 4. Subtract 16 from both sides. I get negative 20. Divide by negative 10. And y equals positive 2. To figure out what x equals, I go find the x equals equation. I'm going to do 16 minus 8 times 2. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. And 16 minus 16 is 0. So my point is 0, 2. And that was it for today. The assignment is A number 2, page 394, 8 to 16. Be sure you get those problems done. If you have questions, let me know.